We'll say we're good now. Well, welcome everybody to Hyde Park Town Board meeting for May 15th, 2023. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to accept the minutes of April 10th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, oh no, I'm going to do this first. Do any board members have any conflicts of interest regarding any of the items on tonight's agenda?
No.
Nope.
Okay. There's my Bob thing. Okay. I'd like to make a belated Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'd like to do that first anyway, because we didn't get a chance before. We have condolences from the town board for Robert Paul Clearwater. The town board wishes to extend their deepest sympathies to the family and friends of Robert Bob Clearwater, who passed away on April 17th, tragically, 2023 at the age of 79. A former Eagle Scout and husband of former Hyde Park Town Clerk, Carol Clearwater. Mr. Clearwater served the county of Dutchess and the town of Hyde Park for many years in the following capacities: 1996 to 99 as Town of Hyde Park Councilman, 2010 to 2019 as a member of the Hyde Park Board of Assessment Review, 2002 to 2005 as a Dutchess County Legislator. Town Board wishes to thank Mr. Clearwater for his years of service to the town of Hyde Park, and by requesting that the town clerk dedicate a page in the official minutes of the Hyde Park Town Board to Bob's service to the town. Thank you. Do we have any public comments on any resolutions in town business? Time limit is 3 minutes. Is there mic live over there?
There is a portable mic on the table.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Spira, and I am CEO for Community Action Partnership for Dutchess County. And I'm here tonight to make a few remarks regarding, I saw the resolution for the expenditure of the CDBG monies, the COVID money for tents for the senior rec. And I just wanted to make a few statements regarding, while we seem to feel like we've come out of COVID, some of the things that had gone on during COVID will not go away anytime soon. The biggest need that we found in the county, we do serve the entire county with 4 sites, one in Poughkeepsie, Dover, Beacon, and Red Hook. Hyde Park families often go to the Red Hook location. Food was the biggest item as soon as COVID hit, between families being stuck in their homes and stores being without product and not being able to get out. But now, as we've come out of COVID and all the funds have sort of expired through the CARES funds and FEMA funds, additional funds came out that just addressed COVID. The one thing that's not going to go away anytime soon is the need for food. The rising costs of transportation and food, and it's really driving a lot of families beyond their budget limits. As an example of what a food package may cost a family, we provide food packages. It's 3 meals a day for 3 days for every member of the household. So you can imagine, for a family of 4, this is $200 to $300. If they can get a package of food once a month, it's going to go a long ways towards either paying their rent or paying their utilities. And I think this holds true for our seniors that are often on a fixed budget. They're not going to see any increases as they go forward, and that perhaps looking at how many seniors are served through the Meals on Wheels program here in Hyde Park or the food pantry here in Hyde Park, and considering whether that CDBG money could be moved to providing funds for those two items, or food product for those two items, or equipment for the Meals on Wheels program. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Very important item you're discussing, which it is. All right. I'd like a motion and a second to open the public hearing on the 2022-2023 MS4 permit annual report.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tad here?
Do you want me to give a summary or just accept public comment?
Summary.
Nobody's speaking. I say
You want a summary again? I won't put you
Oh.
to sleep.
I'll have Donna read the public hearing notice. Has that?
Okay.
Please take notice that the Town of Hyde Park Town Board will hold a public hearing on the 2022-2023 MS4 Permit Annual Report for the Town of Hyde Park, Dutchess County, New York, on Monday, May 15th, 2023 at 6:05 p.m. A copy of the proposed 2022-2023 MS4 Annual Report is available for review on the Town of Hyde Park's website and is available for inspection at the Town Clerk's office during normal business hours. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Hyde Park, dated April 10th, 2023, Hyde Park, New York, Donna McGrogan, Town Clerk.
Sarah would like to say something to explain the purpose now? You'll wait till after the report?
Yeah, I think Tad would probably be in
Okay.
a good position to describe the purpose of the MS4.
It's fun. As you may or may not know, DEC regulates construction sites to prevent contaminants from entering state waters. The town also has a permit with DEC regarding MS4, and we have commitments that we have to fulfill with respect to DEC's requirements. There are currently six minimum measures: public education and outreach, public involvement, illicit discharge detection and elimination, construction site reviews and authorizations for the stormwater pollution prevention plans, post-construction controls, and pollution prevention for municipal housekeeping. We partner with Dutchess County Soil and Water Service. All of the MS4 communities in Dutchess County get together through the Soil and Water Conservation District, and they help the counties coordinate and provide public education and outreach, as well as public involvement. The towns also do some of their own, but as a whole, we do it together, and DEC appreciates that united front and aspect of our reports. Let's see. Illicit discharge detection and elimination, we have a local law regarding that. Primarily in Hyde Park, our concerns have been for failing septic systems, which is actually under the jurisdiction of the Department of Health. So we have, as a county, through the MS4 committee, we have an agreement with the Department of Health that we investigate and verify if we get a complaint, and then we turn the complaint over to them, and then we work together to try to figure out where the failure is. We are not, we don't have an industrial area that we're concerned about. We don't have combined sewer systems that, where contaminants could be discharged illegally into a sewer system. So fortunately, we don't have much concern over that. In this year, not last year's reporting year, we have an issue with an illicit septic system connection under Route 9 that the Department of Health is working very hard to try to identify. The construction site SWIPs, we review them through the planning board process. The town engineer is critical in those reviews. As part of that review process at the planning board, the meetings are televised, so pollution prevention and the SWIPs are discussed at planning board meetings. That's part of a public education component of our program. So thank you, Town Board, for putting it up on YouTube forever. So we review the plans, we make sure they're in compliance with the DEC requirements. We then have the town supervisor sign the notice of intent for each large construction site, commercial over an acre, residential over 5 acres if there's a single family that goes over the minimum. We have a pre-construction meeting with the contractors, which is considered a training as an education component. The contractor at a construction site has to hire an independent to report weekly. I review those reports. If there are deficiencies, then I contact the construction site manager and try to get that resolved. So we say we have 7 active sites with SWIPs. I get weekly reports on all of them. They have to be reviewed and followed up on. It's fun. Most of them come in and there's no problem. Sometimes getting timely action is a little difficult. So I send out reminders about compliance, and if I need to, I send out administrative orders to try to get compliance. And if not, we may end up in court. So, and then post-construction, so far we haven't had any issues with post-construction. Those are inventorying and following up to see if there's maintenance needed on facilities that have been constructed in the past. There may be some erosion, there may be some failures, things may need to be cleaned out. Those are the types of things for post-construction maintenance that the town is responsible for following up on. And then we have the local municipal pollution prevention program. So we're supposed to and do implement a program kind of similar to what we expect from the public. You know, you prevent, you reuse, you recycle, and our highway facility does a lot of the heavy lifting on that one.
Yes. Can you explain for some people that don't understand the acronym world that seems like everybody lives in, what the term SWIP means?
It's an abbreviation for Storm Water Pollution Prevention, either plan or program.
Pre-construction.
SWPPP. So tonight's the public hearing, and if anybody has any questions on the document that's been posted on the town website, I will be happy to record your questions and get back to you with the answers.
Has the town clerk received any public comments?
I have not.
Is there anybody here who would like to make any comments? No?
Well, can I ask a question since
Yes,
Dad's
you
here?
can.
You, I may have misunderstood, but you talked about discharge into sewers, and we don't have a sewer system. But would
Don't say that
loud.
loud.
Oh, sorry, yeah. But would that also include discharge into streams?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's, we have mapped, or through Dutchess County Soil and Water Service, we had a joint grant from DEC to do mapping throughout the county of the MS4s. They mapped all the outfalls. That was part of the first permit that was issued back in, I don't know, 2006 or something, 2003. They started gearing up, and we had to finalize our programs by 2006 or 2007. So we have that mapped. The new permit that is expected to come out was expected to come out last January, and has not yet. It has a whole new program of what the mapping, what mapping is required. And it's going to be quite something if it passes. We're not, like I said, we don't have a combined sewer system. We don't have a sewer system. It's mostly septics that we're concerned with. And there are some, when you inspect the outfall, you look for certain evidence that might lead you to a problem, such as an off-color pipe or a highly eroded pipe might give you a clue that the pH of the water is a problem, or if there's a bloom downstream of algae, there might be a nitrogen imbalance somewhere. But it's generally not what other communities that are more densely populated are looking for. But we do have that aspect.
And if you found it, you'd have to rectify it, right?
Well, we're supposed to investigate and identify and then try to eliminate.
Thanks.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, I'd like to have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now I'd like to have a motion to and a second to open the public hearing on a proposed local law C of 223 regarding weight regulations on Creek Road. So I had that motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Donna will the clerk, I keep saying Donna, but will the clerk read the public hearing notice?
Please take notice that the Town of Hyde Park Town Board shall conduct a public hearing on the introduction of proposed local law C of 2023 entitled "A Local Law to Amend Chapter 104, Article 4 of the Town of Hyde Park Town Code by establishing a weight limitation for commercial vehicles on Creek Road," on Monday, May 15th, 2023 at 6:05 p.m. at the Hyde Park Town Hall, located at 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York, 12538. A copy of said local law is available for inspection at the town clerk's office during normal business hours and will be posted on the town's official website. All persons desiring to be heard on this local law shall be given an opportunity to do so at said public hearing. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Hyde Park, dated April 10th, 2023, Hyde Park, New York, Donna McRogan, Town Clerk.
Has the town clerk received any comments?
I have not.
Does anyone here like to make any comments? State their name and address, and please observe the 3-minute limit. John?
Come on right up. Just take the microphone, state your name, where you live, please.
Hi, my name is Beth Phillips. I live at 554 Creek Road.
Is that on, Beth? You got it?
Oh, maybe not.
Tap it.
I think it's on.
Tap.
Tap it.
You have,
Tap the top. No.
Is that good? No.
Somebody turn it off.
You want to use
You want to just use
Yes,
the
you can use the
sign?
microphone right there on the desk if you wish.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beth Phillips, and I reside at 554 Creek Road in Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm not good off the cuff, so I just typed mine all out. I just wanted to say that I am in favor of the proposed law that will put a weight limit on commercial vehicles that travel on Creek Road. Creek Road is a narrow and curvy road, and it has no shoulder on it at all. Every day there are adults and or teenagers riding bikes, running, or walking on our road. The large trucks that have been coming down Creek Road in the past couple of years make it quite dangerous for people who are trying to walk or even drive on our road. I have seen cars have to stop on Creek Road at times to let the large trucks get past, as the trucks tend to hug a little bit towards the middle of the road. I have seen them drive past, going rather fast as well. Being a resident there 40 years, you kind of get to know the speed of the cars, and you can tell when somebody's like kind of flying a little bit. We have seen metal fly out of the top and land on the side of the road. The danger of these trucks is evident with the accident that happened a couple of months ago when one of the trucks flipped over and spilled out the contents of scrap metal all over one of the neighbors' front lawn. Thank goodness there were no children out waiting for the school bus at that time. Please vote yes to adopt a new law that will make Creek Road safe for residences, drivers, and pedestrians. And thank you all for the work that you do every day.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth.
Good evening. My name is Tom Miller. I live at 16 Lions Drive, and I also hope that you will support this weight limit on Creek Road. I've lived at Lions Drive for over 40 years, and I've seen more and more commercial traffic going on Creek Road because it's the nicest little shortcut to get into Poughkeepsie, into the town of Poughkeepsie, and to get to Pleasant Valley. And I've seen more and more cement mixing trucks, water trucks, the big tankers that fill and like every New Yorker, we're in a hurry to go from point A to point B. And myself, I have gone over the speed limit on Creek Road plenty of times. But these trucks, they fly too. Now, I used to ride my bike on Creek Road to get to Valkill and go back behind Roosevelt Road. And it started getting too dangerous with the way regular cars travel and the way the commercial vehicles travel. So I do hope that you will vote in favor of this weight limit. And I also want to thank you for the job you've been doing in the town of Hyde Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tommy.
Hi, I am Peter Nargi. I live at 519 Creek Road. The truck flipped over in front of my house, not on my lawn, my neighbor's lawn across the street. Number one, we appreciate that you've taken the fast action about this, and appreciate that you would pass this because, as the other two residents have said, you know, those trucks, I mean, it was all day, every day except for Sunday, that they would drive by our homes and go back and forth. I think they go to Albany every day. So we were actually, my wife and I were actually in the living room, at the living room window when it happened. We saw it. And it was very scary. The house shook. My son's house, which is 100 yards behind me, also shook. So it was, as they have said, if there was children waiting for a school bus, it would have been a tragic accident because that's what they flipped right over in front of a house. So we appreciate what you do and appreciate that you would pass this law. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Tom DeFiglio, and I live at 576 Creek Road. And I support this bill that you can stop all the heavy traffic that's coming on Creek Road. I've lived there for 40 years, and I've seen it go from good to bad. And somebody's going to get seriously hurt if this is not taken into consideration and this law is passed. So I appreciate and I hope everybody will pass this law. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. I don't think people want to hear that.
My name is Carol Perry, and I live at 574 Creek Road. I've been there close to 40 years, and I've watched the traffic go from a little town of people just kind of going up and down the road, and now the traffic with the big trucks is really getting outrageous, and the kids are, it's a dangerous situation for kids. And it's just a small town. We don't need those kind of big trucks. Thank you, and I appreciate your help.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can't hear? Okay. Anyone else have any comments?
I got one text from one of my neighbors that was trying to make it and couldn't, but they sent me a text just to read. They wanted to let everybody know that they definitely think that the weight limit for commercial vehicles is overdue on Creek Road. The road itself is a secondary road and not structurally meant to handle that level of weight in constant traffic. And with the accident that took place recently with the 18-wheeler, it is a good thing that it wasn't carrying hazardous materials. Creek Road is not wide enough, it is too curvy, it is too residential to support heavy commercial through traffic. The temptation of all traffic to go too fast on this road is already an issue. These overweight vehicles are making it worse. Creek Road should not be a way for these huge heavy trucks to avoid dealing with traffic on Route 9G. Sincerely, Christine Cotton, 20 Lions Drive.
I'd like to thank Councilman Lombardi for pushing so quickly to get to the county to do what we had to do to create this local law, and this board, after seeing what happened, hearing people that lived there for 40 years now, they should be very pleased, which it seems like you are. All right, I need a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we have a workshop from Dutchess County Commission on Human Rights. We'll be introducing commission and give a presentation on their work and current issues in the county and discuss how the commission can assist municipalities while developing a closer collaboration.
Thank you, Supervisor Torrigiani. I'm Jody Miller. I'm the Executive Director of the Dutchess County Commission on Human Rights, and we appreciate your time and the residents' time here tonight. I'm going to turn it over in just a second to commission members to introduce themselves, and then we'll run through this presentation, and if any point you have questions, please feel free to ask us. As I said, I'm the Executive Director of the Commission on Human Rights. I've been with Dutchess County for over 7 years. I began as the Human Rights EEO officer responsible for also employee issues and workplace violence, and then transitioned to this role solely a few years ago. And prior to that, I was the Executive Director at the Mediation Center of Dutchess County for many years, working with the courts throughout the county, schools, communities, businesses, and a variety of other stakeholders on conflict resolution, mediation, and other types of training.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jenna Ray. I have been a resident of the county for 23 years. I used to work in the tech industry at IBM for about 30 years. Had the opportunity to work with people in different parts of the world. Locally, I have supported food insecurity issues. I have worked with senior services, refugee rehabilitation, vaccination clinics, and I have long supported the cause of education in underprivileged societies. I joined the commission to give back to the community and to support it in its mission of embracing diversity and bridging differences. Thank you. Let's see if we can get this.
Good evening also. My name is Frank Pepe. I'm retired as the superintendent of the Arlington schools. Prior to that, and throughout my career, I've held a number of different positions, starting out within, for quite a while, special education. I am also retired as a council member of the town of Stamford. And in that role, I was also appointed as the liaison between the town council and the Commission on Human Rights, which I hold today. I'm a relatively new member of the commission.
So I did see that some of you were looking at the description that Caroline provided you. Don't worry about that, but that is, we do ask at every presentation if the board would consider a member being appointed as a liaison. And really, that description is just to say, here are some of the things that we could provide for you. And just to, again, have that connection. Some of the ways that we do that with other liaisons, we send minutes, keep them updated, connect with them. So it's relatively informal, but it is a way for us to have a point person. So that's just another way to think about it. So we want to show you some pictures of the work of the commission. But first, a little background. I'll try to run through this kind of quickly. The purpose of our visit today is to really introduce the commission and its work. Let me see if I can manage all of this at the same time. Yeah. Introduce the commission and its work. And we're doing this with all towns, villages, and city councils in the county. So I just want you to know that you're not the only one. I think the last town we were at, the supervisor asked if we were coming to them only, and we're not. We're going to everybody, so no worries there. So developing a closer collaboration, how we can assist in certain ways, and that might have to do with your constituents. There might be some problems that come up that we can help with in the community. So the question is, how do we help? We'll take a look at that in just a minute. So who are the commission members and how did we get established? Originally, the commission was established way back in 1984. The commission existed for 23 years, and then there was a hiatus. And then in 2016, former county executive Mark Marinero and the chair of the legislature, we established the commission. And so we have been in existence since 2016. We have 14 commission members that are volunteers, and they represent, we try to have a broad diversity of the county. So we try to encourage applicants from all over the county, because as we know, our county is pretty diverse in terms of rural, city, suburban, and so we really we find that that's really helpful to have as many commission members representing the full county as possible with 15. So here's a quick list of the people that are on here, 3 of us here today. And as Jen said, we have a brief mission. We came to our mission, we had a workshop session early on. Everybody brought 2 mission statements from commissions around the country, and one person said, we need to be able to say this before coffee in the morning. Mission statements are often very long, so it's kind of like a tagline mission, defending human rights, bridging differences, embracing diversity. So one of the things people often ask us, well, what do you do? Okay, that's very nice, but what do you actually do? So what we're showing you now, our purpose, is what's outlined in the county resolution that we established us. So that's why I want to show this. So we foster mutual respect and understanding among groups, and we'll show you a couple of examples of how we do that. We educate the county's communities on issues and studies around human rights. And for example, one of those things is we know that this year is the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and that the ELBK and other organizations affiliated with Eleanor Roosevelt and FDR are working on that. So we'll be doing some of that. Addressing discriminatory practices, helping with tension and conflict, resolving tension and conflict wherever possible, organizing and participating in community activities to really build goodwill, and again, we'll show you some examples of how we do that. Developing programs to enhance inclusion and diversity, and acting as a bridge to other resources, including the New York State Division of Human Rights, but not limited to. About 75% of our work is really community-based, and only 25% or less are referrals that people themselves choose to make to the Division of Human Rights. So it's really important to know, and this was established in local law, that we are not an investigative body. We don't investigate cases. So we always want to make sure that people understand that. And again, if there's somebody contacts us about an issue and we
are looking to see what it is that what the issue is, whether they want to see them about it, and then try to get them, maybe there's something we can help them with, or if not, get them to a resource that can assist them, usually a community-based resource. Okay, so Jen's going to talk a little bit about our programs and some of the ways that we carry out that purpose in actual community-based programs. I will say that, of course, during the pandemic, like everybody else, we had to pivot, right? So we hadn't been doing virtual programming. I don't know, maybe most of us weren't, but we got pretty familiar with how to do virtual programming, right? Everybody Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. So we did a lot of collaboration, and what we found is that doing a combination of both in-person and Zoom, because Zoom can, or any platform that people can access, people can do those things on their lunch, right? Or they're not going to come to, in person, or sometimes they don't want to come out at night, or maybe there's disabilities or childcare or all kinds of things, right? So it makes it more accessible. So we really are working toward now being more out into the community, so we can have a balance of both online programs as well as in-person programs, which we know people miss and like.
So the slide that Jody has up now is talking to the 100 cups of coffee. So in the past 6.5 years, since the commission was reinstituted by former Executive Molinaro, it has hosted a number of collaborative educational programs and events that have been created in response to community requests and created in response to basically the needs of the community. So one example is the 100 cups of coffee, and I have a habit of moving away from the mic. If you can't hear me, just say we can't hear you. So the 100 cups of coffee is one example of this collaborative program. So we held 17 unique different 100 cups of coffee sessions on a variety of topics. And if you look at the topics, and this is just an example, a few of them have been listed in here, there was religious diversity and inclusion, fostering inclusiveness, what do you know, discovering Poughkeepsie's parks, and then also taking action, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights today. How is it relevant today? And we'll talk more to this in future slides. It still is very relevant, especially so, I think, in today's day and age. Basically the intent is to get people to come together and talk about certain topics or issues that they have an interest in, and the idea is to get them to feel more connected by sharing their views, more engaged, and to kind of shift the interaction so there's not so much adversarial context, but more is to kind of listen and understand and increase community engagement. And one very good example of this 100 cups of coffee was something that we did in collaboration with BOCES in December of last year, which involved the Dutchess County students. It was an excellent session, and we're going to talk more about that in the later slides. So if we go to the next slides, all right, so this is a good example of some feedback from people who participated in some of the 100 cups of coffee. I am inspired by all of the people and organizations that are interested in working together. Others, I learned that I'm not alone. Others have gone through what I have also gone through. So again, this feeling of feeling connected and being able to have a dialogue. Listening sessions are another kind of forum to learn about the strengths and the challenges that face different sections of the community. In one of the sessions, which is on the bottom right, we learned about the daily challenges that the deaf and the hard of hearing community face. If we go to the next slide, the Police Reform and Modernization Collaborative was another such instance. We were asked by former County Executive Molinaro to serve on this collaborative, and the commission members actually served on several different work groups and facilitated 6 virtual community forums, including one in Spanish, and engaged with American Sign Language interpreters. And the idea and the objective, of course, was to provide specific ideas to improve policing. So we also try to address issues of concerns, issues of hate and bias, and there are several different ways that we have been doing this. One example is the United Against Hate March, which we did in October of 2021. This was, of course, very much in the middle of the pandemic era, so this was outdoors. The march was outdoors, but we distributed masks and signs that you can see in the picture in there. So this was an instance where elected officials, law enforcement, the African American clergy, and other organizations listed in there, the Jewish Federation, we all came together to present a front of solidarity against hate and divisiveness. There were approximately 200 people who were there at the event. So the hate crime panel is one of the first things that I was involved in when I joined the commission, and it was a very interesting and is also a learning experience for me, and I hope also for the community. So this was instituted in response to the commission receiving a lot of phone calls from community members who were talking about incidences of racism and hate speech. So the thought was to put together a panel in collaboration with the district attorney's office, the state police, the county sheriff's office, the Jewish Federation, and the emergency and the county emergency response. So the idea was basically to kind of delineate from a legal point of view what constitutes a hate crime. It's more than just hate speech. What are the grounds that can actually lead to a person being indicted for a particular hate crime? So the panel discussion was virtual. All the collaborators presented at the panel, and there was an active engagement with the audience who tied in for the panel discussion, and the entire recording of that is also available on the Human Rights Commission website, so it can serve as an educational tool for anybody who is interested in that topic and wants to understand it further. Okay, so speaker series is another set of forums that the Commission has hosted. And if you look at this, there have been different sets of different topics that were, we had speakers who came and talked about it. And I think these were all virtual, is that right? And as you can see at the bottom, the webinar recordings can also be found on our website. So doing more than nothing about hate, we are all in this together. Health in communities of color, and the last one, which was anti-Asian hate, Asians and Pacific Islanders, and creating a caring community. Okay, and the last one in here is we're going to talk to is the bystander intervention training, which is again a series of virtual events which is offered by an organization called Right to Be, used to be called Hollaback. And what they do is basically it's a seminar that takes you on, or rather highlights 5 different ways or strategies that people can choose from when they witness harassment. And often there's the thing about holding back, not being sure, and this is a very good way to just get an idea of what is it that you can possibly do if you come across an incidence of harassment. Again, some feedback from folks who have taken the intervention training. It was informative, insightful, and empowering. Very good use of my time. That's one comment. And another very good comment is that I realized that my interactions and reactions were in the right place. I just now have additional strategies to keep in mind when I am in public.
So we have also been engaging with youth programs and schools, and we started doing that last year more, developing relationships and building out some programming. We wanted to wait until certainly there was some
we knew that schools were overwhelmed during the pandemic, so that was, and programs, so that was really not the time for us to get involved. But last year, we began doing that, and we had some really excellent programs, including a conference Jenny mentioned, with BOCES and the FDR Library, really about civic engagement, which is part of curriculum required for high school students. And so we had a conference called Pathways to Civic Engagement, Small Places Close to Home, that was held at the FDR Library in December. And one of those sessions, those 100 Cups of Coffee dialogue sessions, that's where we had students talking about how would you put articles of the UDHR into effect, how would you put them into effect today, how relevant are they today? And we had students talking about that. And they found it really useful to be able to talk to one another, to meet students from other schools, to be able to talk to students even in their own school that they didn't know very well. That's really the purpose of the 100 Cups of Coffee Project, is, as Jenna said, to increase interaction in a constructive way. So how people talk about something, sometimes dialogue is thought of, you have two opposing sides come together, but that's not always the way it is. Sometimes you can get people to come around the topic that they're interested in and talk about that. They don't always have the same perspective on that topic, right? So that was a really engaging conference, and we're hoping to see that again. 6 schools participated last year. And some of the things that the students said that they learned, they shared many similarities with other people. We hear that a lot. We talk about that as adults wanting to find common ground. The students saw that themselves. And they also found, when they heard things that were different, right? When people had different perspectives, maybe they hadn't heard those perspectives before and they found it interesting. They also found it interesting that they were able to find their voice and talk to somebody they didn't know. That was like a big deal. We heard that a lot. So sometimes we think about these really big outcomes, right? That big things are going to change, but those little things are really big things for a teenager, right? And sometimes even for us as adults. So we also engaged last year with the Dutchess County Youth Council. We had a panel, and they had a whole bunch of human rights questions for us, which we're not experts, but we did the best we could. And actually, some of our members talked about their personal experience. They were asked about it. And so it was really great to be with students from throughout the county there and attend their end of the year event. So just quickly, here's some examples of ways that we're out in the community. We go to community days around the county because it's really important. We want people to know that we serve the entire county. We are here as a resource, no matter what community you live in, or you work in, or you volunteering, or you worship in. Here in Dutchess County, we serve the entire county. So it's really important for us to be out at community days, to be talking to municipal boards. We were just out in Lena on Saturday. We'll be out again in the next couple of weeks. In September, we know that there are many community days on the same day in September, so we try to cover as many as we can. But we also attend events. This year was the very first year that we were invited to the Lunar New Year event by the Chinese Community Association, and we were working on building a relationship for 3 years because of the increase in anti-Asian hate and bias incidents, and so we were really honored to be invited to that event. So that's a little bit about the breadth of the work, of how we actually do the work, what we do. We will be having some bystander intervention trainings coming up. There's one coming up next Monday, the 22nd. How to support the LGBTQIA community, which harassment is increased in our community. So you can find that on our website. If that's of interest to you, you can register on the website. I'm going to turn this back over to Jenna.
So we talked to gave you a sample of our interactions, engagements with the community, and we continue to work on that in this year. So Jody talked about the 3 upcoming intervention trainings. Well, actually, one of them was in April, so that's done. But there's one coming up this month and one later in the year. And one of them actually has to do with, whoops, I'm on the wrong slide, sorry. I was still talking to the one that you already spoke to, sorry. How to be an ally when you witness online abuse. So that's a good one because as we understand, the social media and online dialogue has increased radically. So, all right, so if we go to, human rights at home. So we understand that there is a housing crisis which is affecting the county, but of course counties and states and across the country. And what we are trying to do is to explore this question with our partners, they're listed in there, to see how is there any way that we are able to help in terms of dissemination of information, gathering of information, what are the available sources that people can look to address this issue of housing. And if we go to so like Jody mentioned, December of this year is the 75th anniversary of the UDHR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and we are actively engaged with the National Park Service, the other entities listed in their FDR Presidential Library as we celebrate the anniversary. And what we would like to do is to raise awareness of the county being the home of the UDHR. Eleanor Roosevelt was worked on the draft for the UDHR, and we want to engage others, especially like we said, we're working with the youth to identify how these articles are relevant in our lives today, and how we can incorporate it into our thinking and our civic responsibilities. And we are continuing to, of course, to conduct community outreach in the many different ways that Jody mentioned by participating in community days and presenting to town boards.
So just to wrap up, we come out to town boards. We asked to be able to do presentations to promote a stronger presence in the local community. We know a lot of people watch their town boards and sometimes they see us. To act as a local resource, to bridge any conflicts that come up that you think we might be able to help with. And sometimes what will happen is people will just call me, kind of just to talk to me and ask me about a situation. It's important to know that we don't report. It's confidential when people contact us, and deciding what to do. So we report everything in aggregate. Names are reported, everything is reported in aggregate, the numbers, the types of cases, etc., like that, and that goes into our annual reports, which can be found on our website. But my point is that people will call, they may want to just talk through something or see if it's something that we have any ideas about. I do a lot of coaching in that way, like helping people think through their next steps, and then they can decide what they want to do and if there's something that we can offer that can help them. So, and so this is an opportunity for us to hopefully strengthen that connection or make a connection or begin a relationship. And maybe begin is the right way to phrase it or say it. And if possible, appoint a liaison to help us with that connection. And we are on the county website because we are part of the county, and you can find information or events, webinars that are recorded, duchessny.gov/human rights. If you scroll down, there are boxes, like every county department has the boxes on the bottom, the blue boxes, and that's where you can find recordings. You can find our member application if somebody would like to apply, as well as a bunch of information about our work. Thank you very much. And I just want to thank Frank. Frank, this was planned. Frank was observing, and he's going to give us feedback. So that's why Frank has been a little quiet. So I want to thank you very much. And if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to let us know.
Thank you. Does any of the board members have any questions?
I don't have any questions, I just comment. I've been to some of your events and I certainly get your emails. So I appreciate all the work you do. I think it's wonderful. Thank you for it.
Jody, I have questions. On your request, how many towns have you gone to for liaisons for this?
Probably have had 4 or 5.
Have you gotten any responses yet for liaisons?
Yeah, no, oh, we've gone to more than, we've gone to a total of, 14, I'd say 16 or 17 towns. Of those 16 or 17 towns over the last 2.5 years, I think we've had probably 6 or 7 liaisons appointed. So not every town is appointed. But we're trying to encourage that.
Would it be possible to have, like, let's say the board decided, or everyone liked to be a part of it, being a liaison, like we could do so many months as myself, or so many months as John, or so many months as Don, so everyone gets to be a part of it in a way as a liaison, not just one liaison, like it could be a shared liaison position, basically.
So who's first?
I'll do the first step.
Well, I thought, just clarify one thing, I thought that, like, we have a list of the first of the year for all the liaisons on all this.
That's on our town. This is county.
So would we have to pass a resolution to do that? That's the question that I had.
Well, we could find that one out.
If you want to memorialize it,
Yeah.
if it's a town board determination of how you want to handle it, it should be memorialized by resolution. Yes.
Especially if we were going to do like a shared thing.
Shared, yep.
Would you be open to that?
Absolutely.
And we'll discuss that at our next client attorney meeting.
Executive meeting.
Very good. Thank you so much. We so appreciate it.
Thank you for all the work you're doing too. That's pretty
Thank
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, are you sure you don't want to be first? Councilmember Lombardi?
Landslide.
Okay, I'm going to leave Caroline's computer just like this.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, on to resolutions.
Ready for resolutions?
Lynn, you know, Nicole.
Ready? Resolution 515-1 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to allow Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP, Kyle W. Barnett Esquire, to enter into a consent order and judgment to settle the tax certiorari proceedings brought by 54 Hyde LLC against the Town of Hyde Park for the tax year 2021 and 2022.
May I have a motion, a second?
Second.
The clerk take a roll call vote, please?
I'm sorry, did we get a second?
Yeah, Lynn.
Oh, Lynn. Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye.
Resolution 515-2 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to reappoint David Mackey to the Town of Hyde Park Veterans Affairs Committee.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye.
Resolution 515-3 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board and the Town of Hyde Park Highway Superintendent to execute an amended agreement for the expenditure of highway monies for 2023, the 284 agreement, and also authorize the town supervisor to execute the payment agreement with Peckham Road Corp. to guarantee the blacktop for the Town of Hyde Park Highway Department.
Yeah, may I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 515-4 of 2023, Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to declare Hillcrest Terrace, Paper Street abandoned.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the town clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-5 of 2023, resolution authorizing the town of Hyde Park to convey Hillcrest Terrace Paper Street, .178 acres, to Joshua K. Maskell.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-6 of 2023. Resolution adopting proposed local law number C of 2023 entitled "A Local Law to Amend Chapter 104, Article 4 of the Town of Hyde Park Town Code by establishing a weight limitation for the commercial vehicles on Creek Road."
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion gladly carried.
Resolution 515-7 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute a license agreement with Dish Wireless LLC to install equipment on the cell tower located at 1146 New York Route 9G, Hyde Park, New York.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. No opposed, motion carried.
Resolution 515-8 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to adopt the rules and regulations for Union Cemetery located in the Town of Hyde Park, County of Dutchess, State of New York.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-9 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute an agreement for the continuation of grant consulting services with Millennium Strategies, LLC, for assistance in researching and applying for 2023 potential grant funding for the Town of Hyde Park.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
You say aye because we have a 30-day period we could get out of whenever we need to.
Escape clause.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-10 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the resignation of Town of Hyde Park Confidential Secretary to the Town Supervisor, Carolyn Miller, and appoint her as full-time legislative aide to the Town of Hyde Park Town Board.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
I'm going to reserve on this one. I'm not going to vote on this one. I wasn't even aware of this one.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Okay, motion carried.
It's an abstention.
Did you want to do them?
Yes, I do, but he has to make a change on it
Okay.
After you read it.
after I read it. Resolution 515-11 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the retirement of Town of Hyde Park Highway Department Motor Equipment Operator Gregory Staffa.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to change the retirement date to Friday, April 28th. May I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Will the clerk please take a roll call vote on that?
So you should vote on the resolution as amended.
As amended, yes.
Okay, as amended, we have a motion from,
As amended, we need a motion.
please.
Motion to vote as amended.
So moved.
So, all right.
I make a
Lynn?
motion to vote on so amended.
And I
Second?
seconded it.
Okay. So this is as amended.
Yes.
Councilman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Noakes. Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
I just want to say thank you to Greg for his 17 years of service up at the Highway Department. I know a lot of the guys up there miss him already. I had the pleasure of working directly with him. He's a great person. Enjoy your retirement, Greg. Resolution 515-12 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the retirement of Town of Hyde Park Recreation Groundskeeper Cleaner Carl Wagner.
May I have a second, please?
Second?
Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
I'd also like to thank Carl for his service to Hyde Park. He was a great groundskeeper over at the Recreation Department, did just about anything he was ever asked to do. He's a great guy. Enjoy your retirement, Uncle Carl.
Just read this.
He's not my uncle, but we called him Uncle Carl anyway.
You're good.
Resolution 515-13 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the retirement of Town of Hyde Park Police Lieutenant Paul Katia.
I'd like to amend the retirement date to Saturday, May 27th, and I need a motion as amended.
So moved.
A second?
Second?
Okay. May the clerk read the roll call vote, please?
As amended.
As amended.
Well, first you have to vote on to amend, so all in favor, vote please.
Oh, I did that.
So all in favor of the amendment?
All in favor of the amended? To amend it. Amended date to Saturday, May 27th.
Aye.
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 And then a motion to vote on the resolution as amended?
Now, a motion to vote on the resolution as amended.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Now, will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried, as amended.
Resolution 515-14 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve additional accrued vacation carryover for Hyde Park Police Sergeant Michael Stallone.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-15 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute a renewal of the intermunicipal agreement with the Town of Hyde Park School District and the Town of Hyde Park for the presence of police officers at Hyde Park Central School District events for the 2023-2024 school year.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-16 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to authorize the town supervisor to execute an agreement with Vanderwater and Vanderwater to provide legal services for the Town of Hyde Park Police Department regarding Extreme Risk Protection Orders, or ERPOs.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-17 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the purchase of a replacement vehicle and any necessary equipment for said vehicle for the Town of Hyde Park Police Department fleet.
I may have a second, please.
I got a quick question. Is this the one that was in an accident, or is this the one that was replacement? I was just curious.
This is a replacement.
Is this a replacement?
Replacement vehicle.
Purchasing equipment, yes, from the accident.
Okay.
It was an accident?
I second.
All right, will the town clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-18 of 2022. Oh, it's supposed to be 23, right?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Clerk to issue a hawking and peddling license to Paul Branch of Sun Run Solar.
May I have a second, please?
Second?
All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-19 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation 2022-2023 MS4 permit annual report.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-20 of 2023, resolution authorizing the release of the balance of escrow for completed projects that were reviewed by the Town of Hyde Park zoning administrator.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-21 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute an agreement between Hyde Park Baseball Incorporated and the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Department to provide a youth baseball and softball program for the residents of the Town of Hyde Park as part of the town's recreation program for the year 2023.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-22 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute an agreement between Hyde Park Soccer, Inc. and the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Department to provide a youth soccer program for the residents of the Town of Hyde Park as part of the town's recreation program for the year 2023.
May I have a second, please?
Second?
Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-23 of 2023, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to execute a contract between the Hyde Park President's Youth Football and Cheerleading Program and the town of Hyde Park to run an American Youth Football Conference, otherwise AYF, AYC, and cheerleading program as part of the town's recreation program for the year 2023.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 515-24 of 2023. Sorry. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Director to request proposals for the purchase of tents to be funded by a 2020 CDBG COVID grant, which will be utilized by the Town of Hyde Park Senior Center to allow them to hold outdoor activities.
May I have a second, please?
Second?
Will the clerk please read the roll call votes?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Nay, based on the input from the constituent who thought we should reconsider where the money is spent for COVID, especially for food.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
So based on the input we got from the community input, on the need for food in so many households,
So-
I'd rather the COVID money, at least in part, be used for that, rather than a tent for.
It would have to be researched, but I was part of writing this grant 3 years ago, and food was not part of it. It had to be used for recreational purposes for seniors only. And at the time, we were trying to get seniors to be able to come together because they were being very isolated. Part of the grant was hoping to get cleaning equipment, computers, things like that. The need for the seniors to still be able to gather in an area where they feel safe, which is open air ventilated outside, is still a need. I don't believe that the grant can be used for food. That's the only stipulation.
it's
I mean, if
written,
you
it's a
want to hold
specific
it to
grant.
do that. The other thing is the grant is already written, and I believe, and it would be more the lawyer, once a grant is written, it's written as such, and you've already asked for the money. At this point, they're asking for the grant. It's to authorize the Hyde Park Recreation Director to request proposals for the purchase of the tents. The grant has already been written for tent purchases. This is just authorizing him to get those proposals. So I don't know if the grant can be changed at this point for food. I totally agree. Food is an issue. I work in healthcare. I hear it all the time. Food insecurity is a huge issue, but I don't think that this grant would cover that, and it would somebody would have to go back and look at it. But if you don't take the money the way it's written, you may lose the money altogether.
Well, the first paragraph kind of sums it up, that the grants used, the block grants used for the COVID, for the Federal COVID Act Relief and Economic Security Act of 2022 to fund activities to prepare for and respond to the COVID for purposes of making certain senior citizen-related safety improvements.
Right.
So it doesn't say anything about anything above and beyond that, so.
I don't know if food is in a parameter. I don't know if you want to hold it, but I know the grant is written, and you'd have to ask somebody who knows more about the legal aspects of grants. Once the grant is written, it usually it's written that way and can't be amended to be used for something else. You can amend it for size and shape and other things.
Is there a time restraint on this, Supervisor?
it already
If
is
we
3 years
put it on
old.
hold?
Then they won't get the additional equipment. If you read the second whereas, please.
Whereas the town was awarded the CBDG Special Block Grant in the amount of $29,500 for such improvements, which was to include the purchase of equipment to support the safe opening of the municipality's senior citizen and technology upgrades to provide virtual access at the center, together with related equipment, which includes but shall not be limited to tents, air purifiers, plexiglass barriers, laptops, and Wi-Fi upgrades.
The way I see this, if we don't use the grant for what it's intended, which is for the outdoor
And it was for
activities,
recreational
we could
related
lose-
purposes.
we could actually lose the grant.
You would lose the grant, yes. That is true.
My suggestion, and I think the board's in agreement here, we would have all liked to have seen something go for food, but this grant's not designed for that.
No.
That's
Not
not,
at
yeah,
all.
this grant was for recreational purposes. How can you serve the senior population? And it was not for food.
My fear, if we table this, we'll lose the grant for the seniors, and we still wouldn't be able to use it for
We
food.
wouldn't, they want to open, yes.
So that's just my opinion. I think we should move forward on this today and secure this grant that's already been allocated for the town.
Correct. I'm in
Agreed.
agreement. You can abstain.
Well, you said, I mean, it's a good
Or you
argument.
can,
It's
I mean,
good.
you can
Okay, so you
always vote no.
Okay, so Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Persikowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 515-25 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to accept donations from Rhinebeck Bank, the Hyde Park Chamber, Hyde Park Knights of Columbus, Chapter 6111, Hyde Park Lions Club, and the Hyde Park Rotary Club for the Town of Hyde Park Recreation's 2023 Music in the Park Series.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye, with
Coun-
thanks. With thanks to the groups.
Oh,
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Persikowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
aye, motion carried.
Resolution 515-26 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to renew the lease agreement with the Reformed Dutch Church of Hyde Park for the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Senior Center for 23-24.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Don. All right, will the clerk read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Persikowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 515-27 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to accept from the Hyde Park Garden Habitat a donation of materials and volunteer labor for the creation of a native plant pollinator garden to enhance the beauty of the Town of Hyde Park's Riverfront Park.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
May the clerk take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Persikowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 515-28 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to accept from Madalena Brill the donation of materials and volunteer labor to construct and install a small lending library as part of her Girl Scout Silver Project at the Town of Hyde Park's Hackett Hill Park.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
And Councilman Persikowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 515-29 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to accept from Kevin Rose the donation of materials and volunteer labor to rehabilitate the ball field infield at the Town of Hyde Park's Pinewoods Park.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Wait a minute. Gotta do that rock, scissor thing.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right. I'll give it to Don.
Go with the
He
vote.
was quick.
Okay.
Clerk, take the count, we'll take the roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Persikowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried. Is there any new or old business?
I just want to say thank you to the two volunteer and the people that are going to be helping them, the Girl Scout Silver Project and the rehabilitation of Pine Woods. It's nice to see the community come out and give back to their community and make it better, so I thank them.
I'd like to let John Golden, because I know he watches, know that the bids for the town hall expansion are going out public on the 17th. And they should be due back in the first week of June. Excuse me?
How long will he be out?
Normally, something like this will take 3 weeks.
The date is on our website.
Yeah, I think they were due back in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes, and we have a pre-bid conference
Yeah.
on June 1st scheduled.
So we also have, between Hackett Hill and down to Statsburg Park, we have the parking lots, the ADA pavement that is also out for bid. I think them bids are due back on the 26th of this month, I believe. The town engineer already drew them up and sent them out. Also, in regards to the assisted living facility on Route 9, on Route 9G, the supervisor, myself, and with the help of Michael Dupree from the planning department, the town engineer, a bunch of us had a meeting with the New York State DOT Region 8 director and their staff to explain that we think that it's very problematic with the couple fatalities that we had there, and we're asking them to try to please come up with some solutions, which they were took it very well. They sent a crew out there, analyzed the sidewalks and what's going on, and we had a follow-up email the other day, which in the next week, we're going to meet back with them and circle back and start having some discussions of what the proper approach is going to be to take care of that problem over there. So we are on that also.
I'd like to thank Howie and John Lombardi for all their work on the Hackett Hill project, and we are going to do some temporary stuff before the bids come in for the handicap entranceway. We're going to put a temporary in, so that would be open in time for after Memorial Day for the kids.
And also one other note, the sidewalk project on Route 9 with the curbs and sidewalks is still under construction, moving along very well. The supervisor and myself met with the contractor, and we expressed to him that we have the parade coming up, so they are going to try to back up all the sidewalk trip hazards and everything that they have already completed with topsoil, and get them prepared so that the foot traffic that comes for the Memorial Day Parade is going to be safe. We ask everybody out there, please, a lot of the areas are seeded in mulch, and I know that everybody's going to be looking at the parade, but please stay on the sidewalks. Try to keep the children from tromping through the fresh topsoil and seed, and be careful of all the barricades that are out there, because there are areas that are not completed, and we don't want nobody to get hurt.
Okay, anyone else have anything? No? We good? I have a motion for an adjournment.
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.